Start with an opening statement from Coach Service. Then we are going to open it to questions for the student athletes. We are going to let them go and follow up with more questions for Coach. All right, Coach?
Well, it started a little shaky, a little bit. I was a little worried about our young players and how they would handle this environment, the importance of the game. And then we drop a fly ball in the first inning, and it looked like, we might come unraveled a little bit there. But I give Raleigh a lot of credit. He's done what he's done a lot this year, got us deep into the game, got us through that first inning when we were a little wobbly, and then we made another mistake in the middle part of the game, fought through that, and did what you're supposed to do in the first game of a tournament. Get us 7 innings, turn it over to bullpen, trust those guys. So I thought it was a well-played game, good pace to the game. I think the fans enjoyed it. I know we did, and I can't say enough about Raleigh and Clark. Clark's, 2-run homer just lifted the entire team out of the dugout. So good job by these two men right here.
Okay, we have stats coming down the line here, and we are going to open it up to questions to the student athletes. Just state your name and your affiliation, please. Matt?
Matt DeMarinis, White and Blue Review. Raleigh, I guess, how good was everything feeling tonight? It looked like maybe you didn't quite have a good feel for the bottom of the zone, but you worked through that. I mean, what didn't you feel confident in tonight?
What I did not feel confident with tonight, is that what you...
That's rhetorical, but I mean, yeah. It looked like you were...
Well, I can't say that anything really felt too good tonight. We just played these guys 2 weeks ago, and we got Zach on the mound for them tonight. We knew it was going to be a tight game, pitcher's duel, and it was just kind of all about hanging on until our offense came through, and Clark did, obviously, in the best way possible. I don't think it was anything that was just working too well. I think it was more the process and trying to get ahead of guys as much as I could, trying to get them to chase some stuff low, get some ground balls for my defense, and let the rest go to the offense.
Matt Schumacher, Big East Digital. This is for Clark. Clark, you've had a heck of a couple weeks, man. You had those 2 diving catches a couple weeks ago at home, and now a 2-run bomb here tonight. What's this ride been like for you, the last couple weeks of this season?
It's definitely been a little crazy, especially with some of the things that have been going on. But what really matters at the end is just the team's playing well, and we're getting the job done offensively and pitching-wise. Defense has been solid all year, so whatever us outfielders can do to contribute to that is always good. Keeps these guys on the mound as long as we can. The team's playing well and getting the job done. So other than that, it's pretty good.
John?
John Natal with the Omaha World Herald. Clark, can you just take us through the at-bat? I mean, it looked like you were squaring the bunt initially, and then I'm guessing a hit-and-run type call was on. What happened?
Yeah, so we started off with a botched sacrifice bunt, tapped that first pitch. Next 2 pitches, saw a slider, was also bunting, took it. Third pitch was bunting again. It was an outside fastball, took that, and then I think Coach got a little sick of me turning around to bunt, so called the hit and run, and was just trying to think low and get the barrel out to the ball, and just got it out there the right way.
Matt?
I guess for both guys, you didn't really go into the last weekend of the season playing your best baseball, and then you had the rain out. Watching in the airport as you guys kind of clinched your regular season title, did that provide a little bit of a shot in the arm, some momentum, even though you hadn't done it necessarily on the field?
All right, Raleigh, why don't you start, and then Clark?
Absolutely. I think any time that you get the #1 seed for your conference, it's going to give us a little boost coming into our backyard as well. I know it was a weird way, but like Coach has told us a couple of times, we're not going to give it back, and we're just going to take that momentum. It did give us a little bit. We celebrated in the airport, so it was kind of a little bit weird, but we're going to take that as far as we can into the tournament and the postseason.
Yeah, like Raleigh said, we definitely want to do it on the field. Wish we wouldn't have got rained out that Sunday game or Saturday game. But, we did. We had a good time with it in the airport, watching the game, and everyone kind of going a little rowdy once we knew what was going on. We would have wished we had it on the field, but we just know going into the tournament with the 1 seed was a good advantage for us being at home, too.
Megan O'Brien, Big East Digital Network. Raleigh, this team didn't have the start you guys wanted to in the season, and even in today's game with the drop fly in the first inning. But how have you been able to put this team on your back and not let anything affect you when you're on the mound?
I don't know if it's putting the team on my back necessarily, but like Coach has mentioned, we have a lot of young guys, and I think a lot of the credit goes to them for helping to lead our offense and not shy away from a bad start. It could have been really easy for them too, and I don't think anyone would have blamed them. But like speaking of Isaac today, is one of those standout freshmen making that great play in the hole. That gives a guy like me some pretty good confidence out on the mound who's a ground ball guy, and just take that into my next start.
Matt?
I know you guys, you play here a lot at home. You're here every weekend, you're at home. But I was talking with Coach yesterday, and he said, there's just a feeling and an aura about this place that's just different than the other ballparks you play in. Do you guys feel that now in the Big East Tournament Championship? The crowd's electric. There's more on the line. It's kind of a win-or-go-home type of situation.
Clark, you want to take that first?
Yeah, absolutely. I think playing here all year at home, especially some games, we kind of maybe took it for granted sometimes. But this place is truly a special place, especially with the crowd we had behind us tonight. Whenever they're in it and whenever we're in it, it's just electric and really just keeps us going, gets us going out there. And whenever that's going on, we know we can play with anyone.
All right, Riley, want to follow that up?
Yeah, absolutely. This park, not only is it great for pitchers like myself and the rest of the guys on the staff, but it's just great to play in your own backyard. It's like Clark mentioned, it's electric. The fans were great tonight, getting into it as much as they could, not ever letting us slip. Or when things started to go bad a little bit in that middle of the game, we caught ourselves before we got out of hand, and just ended up being great. It's great to be in your own backyard.
All right, we're going to go to John. Any other questions after John for the student athletes? All right, go ahead.
Riley, you mentioned attacking low in the zone. You got him to chase at times? I wondered if that was kind of part of the plan, and how did you get them to maybe go a little bit lower than they wanted with some of your pitches?
It's all about getting ahead. I think for me, my ball runs a little bit sometimes and sinks sometimes. I don't really know when it's going to do either, but if I'm ahead in the zone, they got to be looking for the pitch that is in the bottom of the zone for the last time anyways. So it opens up so many more opportunities, whether we're going back to the sinker or the breaking ball, and just plays well into how we pitch as a staff and to the defense I have behind me. So to answer your question, I don't think it was I was trying to get him to chase. I think it was just the pitches that were called and trying to execute them to the best that we could.
All right. Thank you, guys. Student Martin. You're staying.
Oh.
They're done. Coach Rubens tried that earlier.
Did he?
Yes, he did. All right, questions for Coach. John Fanta.
Yes, John Fanta, Big East Digital Network. Coach, when you think about the guy you got in Raleigh Lacey as a freshman, we were talking about it yesterday, to the pitcher he's become for you this season, he's been that guy that you can rely on. What comes to mind?
Well, he's really done it for 3 years, and a lot of you don't know his story, but Raleigh was a true walk-on. We didn't make any contact with Raleigh in high school. He visited campus one day, and we had a chance to speak with him in the lounge in our baseball offices, and he asked for an opportunity, and I said, why not? 6'3", right-handed pitcher. You never know with pitchers. And we saw a little bit in him as a freshman. He didn't pitch at all. And then he went out that summer and pitched in the summer league and did a tremendous job. And then he's been our Friday guy ever since. So, Raleigh won 9 games last year, I believe. So this isn't a surprise that he's gone out here and done what he's done here in that Friday role the whole season. We kind of have grown to expect that really out of him. He's a strike thrower. We demand our pitchers throw strikes. We put a heavy emphasis on defense, even though it didn't look like it at times tonight. But you can't defend the walk, and Raleigh has really done a tremendous job in throwing strikes.
Matty Marinus, White and Blue Review. It seemed like Prendergast's first couple innings, you blink and you miss them. What changed in the middle part of the game where you guys started to work his count a little bit?
Well, we keep track of pitches, both our pitchers and the opposition, and he had thrown 13 pitches and got 6 outs. So we told our hitters we now have to take some pitches here. We went into the game hoping that they would be aggressive. Well, they were, but they were making easy outs. So we said, hey, we got to work him a little bit for 2 reasons. We got to give Raleigh a chance to take a deep breath over here, and then we got to try to get him into some pitch counts. And the next inning he threw 26, so I thought, okay, that's good. The next inning he threw 22, that's good. And then we finally got to him. But we were just making too many easy outs. You know, you can't make 6 outs on 13 pitches. We had to change something up, and we did.
Yeah, just as a follow-up to that, I think it was Albury at the plate, down 0-2, and he kind of, I don't know if he worked the count back in his favor and got a single. Was that the at-bat that sprung it, or did you get a sense, and maybe the walks after that, when did you get a sense that you felt like your guys had locked in on him?
You know, you got to remember, these guys haven't played a live game for a week now, too. So, you know, we don't see live pitching in practice. You know, you can hit BP all you want, but when you go up against guys like this, you know, it's going to take you a couple times through the lineup to get comfortable. And you could tell with each time through the lineup, we got a little bit, our timing got a little bit better. And then sometimes it takes a big hit. You know, we scored 2 runs, our last 2 runs with nobody on base and 2 outs. I don't know the last time we did that. It's probably been several weeks ago. So, you know, I think our offense has a chance, you know. It didn't look like that the last 4 or 5 games, but I saw some good things tonight from our offense. We got 4 extra base hits. We hadn't got extra base hits in a long, long time. I think we got 1 extra base hit in the last 4 or 5 games. Tonight we got 4. So there are some signs that, you know, we can become a better offensive team.
Megan?
Megan O'Brien, Big East Digital Network. Coach, you talk about those changes that you had to make mid-game. You have a young group of guys. What does that say about them that they were able to adjust so quickly in the game, you know, to respond to, you know, being patient in the batter's box?
Well, you know, I like it. I've said this to a lot of people. I like this club. You know, I said that when we were 1-11. People look at me like, what are you talking about? You're 1-11. How do you like this team? Well, I like this team because they allow you to coach them. And the young players allow you to coach them. And, you know, the Isaac Collins, the Will Robertsons, these kids, they're just yearning to learn more about how to play baseball. And they're open-minded to anything that we try. They don't fight it. We've had players in the past that might have done that. So it's a good group, and they're just still learning how to play. But they're very open-minded to whatever changes and whatever strategies we ask them to implement during the course of a game.
Coach Jeff Packard, WWT. Question, I guess, kind of an awkward situation walking into tomorrow. You've only seen them once when you should have seen them hopefully 3 times during the course of a season. Does that kind of present a unique challenge walking into the second round of a tournament?
Well, we saw them this afternoon. You know, we were bearing down on both teams this afternoon, and we're very familiar with Xavier. You know, we got them twice in the tournament last year. We played them 3 times, so we played them 5 times last year. They got a lot of the same personnel. I mean, what you saw today offensively is what they're capable of doing. It's going to take a tremendous effort on our part to slow these guys down, because this is a veteran team. They know how to play. They can beat you with a little power. They can beat you with the speed, and they're very experienced. These, you know, most of that team played in the regional finals last year in Nashville, so they got us beat when it comes to that. But it still comes down to the execution, and I'll take our chances tomorrow night. We'll have a day to prepare. You know, we'll get ourselves ready to go by hopefully 6:32 tomorrow night.
Okay, we'll take a question from John. Any others after John? Matt, and we'll end with you.
Just,
Go ahead, John.
just back to Raleigh, it does seem, and I think you've probably remarked on this at other points in the year, that when he's on the mound and he's rolling, the team has the elevates. And I know that there were a few miscues defensively, but just from your
good plays too.
Right.
I don't want to discount the good plays. That
what sense do you get from your ball club when he's on the mound and you know, attacking the zone the way he was tonight?
Well, there's certain pitchers that your players feel like they got a chance to win, and when Raleigh goes out there, the team feels like, hey, we're gonna win tonight. You know, he's not gonna walk the ballpark. He's not gonna give up a lot of hits, and so we've had a lot of pitchers like that in the past where the defense just kind of rises up and plays better, but when he's out there, the team feels like they got a chance. And the infielders get a lot of activity because he's a ground ball pitcher. They stay in the game. Look at the game tonight. It was 241 compared to the first game, which I know wasn't 241. You know, the players like that. The fans like that. And Raleigh just gets the ball and goes. Here it is. Try to hit it. You know, and that's what we like about him. I think that's what his teammates like about him as well.
All right, Matt, last question.
Sorry, I know you touched on this a little bit with the Xavier matchup, but 2 years ago when you had a chance to play in this ballpark for the Big East tournament and you had St. John's, you didn't like the way your team came out. You thought their energy was a little weird, different. You weren't really sure how to describe it. What do you need to see out of this group, which is obviously different than that one, in their approach to tomorrow night's game?
Well, that particular game, we were too hyped up. You know, there was stuff going on in the dugout I hadn't seen all year. And even though we made a kind of a blunder in the first inning, I didn't sense any panic in the dugout. The guys knew that, hey, we can work through this. We can get through this. When we played St. John's 2 years ago on that Friday night and lost 8-2, there was a lot of stuff going on in that dugout that worried me. So, you know, we'll have a chance to talk to these guys. They haven't shown that for a long, long time. I don't think they'll show it tomorrow night. You know, we talked to them yesterday a lot about just enjoy this opportunity. You know, I mean, we only have a handful of seniors. The rest of these guys will have many more opportunities, but in the meantime, let's just enjoy it and play with some energy. I thought the first game was won basically on energy. Xavier had a ton of energy, and they got ahead early and they didn't let up. And you know, I was pleased with our energy tonight too. It's amazing with young people. It rarely comes down to the execution of the game, but it oftentimes comes down to the energy of the player. And I'll be disappointed if we don't have that tomorrow, but I don't want too much either. I don't want them going over the top. We'll be ready tomorrow.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Okay.
See you tomorrow.